to a new video, and all those who haven't seen the channel, welcome to the channel, the Caravan Industry Expert. Now, on my last vlog I mentioned about seeing a caravan called Silverline Nova, and the lady that owns it is called Fiona, and I met her at a caravan dealership a couple of years ago, local to me. And basically we got talking and she mentioned she got this little baby caravan, and she told me what it was, and I said, wow, I'd love to see that. Anyway, fast forward on, I made arrangements eventually to come and see it, and here I am up in Cumbria, a lovely spot, a place I used to come in with my parents in our caravanning days many moons ago, unfortunately. And some lovely villages around here, around Appleby, Great Aspey, Little Aspey, are some super spots. So it's a lovely spot, lovely area. Now, Fiona said, do you want to come up and have a look at it, and before it goes back to its other place for storage or whatever? So I said, yeah, I want to be up there and have a look. So what I'm going to do, we're going to have a chat with Fiona for a few minutes later on after the video. You've seen all the still pictures at the start of the video and some of the original pictures of Silverline. I'm going to quickly tell you about Silverline. Silverline Caravan started up in about 1964-65. It was started up by the Robinson family up in Hull. After a year or two they actually moved over to Full Sutton at just outside of York, on an old aerodrome opposite where Buccaneer caravans were made actually. And they took over an aircraft hangar there. They made mainly static caravans and also showman caravans too. So for Billy Smart Circuits, one of their clients. And the company was a successful company. They won a Queen's Award for Export in 1976, and they made lots of tourers, lots of different static vans. They were one of the first static manufacturers to use bonded sides. They're also one of the first tourer manufacturers to use bonded sides. Now, sort of come 1980-81, the company we concentrated more on statics and the tours were sort of dropped, and then in 83-84, when the tour market started to pick up again, they came out with this caravan called the Silverline Nova, and it was a pure genius idea because it was a compact tourer, 5'7" wide, made in two variations, and a slightly larger one called the Burdenston, 12 foot, 2 and 4 berth, aerodynamic front end, and they actually, the Novas, the little ones, really took off well, and they became very popular. All of a sudden Silverline picked up more tourer dealers again, and they went off the statics and concentrated on producing these tourers, and in the end they started producing bigger variants of them, 4 berths, different layouts. By the early 90s, when the next recession came along, things were changing, and they got involved with a company called Upminster Caravans, which was owned then by a guy called Eddie Hatter. They were big ABI deals, and what Eddie Hatter wanted to do was build his own caravans. I don't know if he had a bit of a fallout with ABI, so he produced a caravan called the Craftsman. Now those were going to be built at the Silverline factory, and yes, they were. In fact, it was the first prototypes were built there, but the actual production moved to Annie Reed Road at Beverley into a new factory. And unfortunately that left Silverline in a bit of a dilemma. In fact, it financially crippled the company and they closed. Now the Robinsons, they're still around, and I think it was the son of one of the two brothers who contacted me, and he was so sort of pleased that I'd mentioned Silverline somewhere. I think it was on LinkedIn, and he'll be really pleased, I think, when I tell him about this video and what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do on this video, I'm going to put a history of some of the caravans that Silverline made, and then launch straight into this video, and we're going to have a look at the interior of the Nova Vanden Plas, which now is a very rare tour indeed. But Fiona loves this van so much, and she's cosseted it, and it's all pretty much damned original and really nice. Oh, right, let's get on. Right, well, I'm sat in the lounge area here, and to be quite honest, you know, when you get into this tourer from the outside, it's like a TARDIS. It feels far bigger inside than what outside actually makes it look. You think it's going to be quite compact and tight inside, but you could really sit 4 sort of adults in here without too much of a problem and have a meal. It's got a smaller table here as a coffee table, and also it's got a larger table which clips on to use for main meal times, and also to be used for the bed base. The upholstery is all original. That's very typical 1980s. This van I think is an 87, and these were launched in 84 initially, so late 84, 85, 86. They didn't make many to begin with, but by 86, 87 they were producing about 10 a week. Now I actually went around the factory as well in 1987 and met Edwin Robinson, and I watched these being built, and I should in theory have some photographs somewhere at home in a vast collection of photographs I took, but I've not yet come across them. Hopefully I will do one day, and if I do I'll stick them on the channel. Right, so you've got this lounge area which would make into 2 single beds, and also it would make into a decent double bed as well. You've got a one-piece panoramic window at the front. It's all double glazed, and except sorry, I was going to say except the side windows aren't double glazed, but they are double glazed. I was thinking of something else for a minute there, because as I say, this was a Vanden Plas. It came with mains electrics, and it came with cold water, and it's got a little loo in there. And anyway, I'm going to show you around more. So this is the lounge area. As I say, it's very spacious in here, and the seating is pretty good considering, you know, the age of the van. Let's go and have a look in the kitchen, and that's not going to take long to get to. It's just there. Right, so here we are in the back end, and it was a typical traditional end kitchen layout for 2, and let's just swing you around here. Now look at that lounge area. That lounge area is quite big for the size of this Tourer. There's plenty of storage as well above there, some little cubby holes, and those 12-volt spot lamps, yes, a bit different from today's LEDs, were standard fit, as was the ceiling lamps. Cupboard here. This sort of bit of wood fancy was quite a bit of a fancy thing for that particular time. Right, let's get back round here again and diversifying. Bits of things like this have been added on, but basically this is all very original. Original stainless steel sink, and you had a 2-burner hob, plus your grill underneath too. Cupboard for storage, which would have taken an oven, and also a fridge that ran on the mains, 12-volt when you were towing, and also gas if you needed it to. Nice big roof vent above there as well. Good sort of locker storage here with your typical moulded thing to put your cups and plates in. And it's all very nicely compact, isn't it? Do you know what? I just wonder why a manufacturer come up. I know we've got the Sprite Compact, but I think we could do with something again like this. Tell me on the comments, tell me if you agree. Something lightweight, because I put the weights into this and how much it cost when it was new, which I think was about £3.5 grand at the time, back in 1987. Now, look at that wardrobe. That's a big size wardrobe. It's a lot of storage. You don't get a wardrobe much bigger than that in bigger vans. Electronics, that was Zig. Zig supplied a lot of the manufacturers at that particular time. I think they were based at Hull. Again, by today's standards, yes, that looks dated, but it did the job. And that's all you needed to do. Now, there's no actual heater in here, but you could get an optional extra heater, and I can't remember which one it was, a little blown heater type thing, but I'll have a look at that on the extras list. Mains was fitted. You got one plug socket, and you got all these little handy little storage drawers. So it's really nice and compact. It don't feel too small. As I say, this would be great for 2024, wouldn't it? I think so. I think a little couple van, it weighs a minimal amount. It's easy to tow. It's 5'7" wide, and it really is a smart little tow. It's in really nice order. Right, I'm going to take you now into the washroom. This is very original. And what I like, there's your table, you see, for your main eating and putting for the bed base. But this, look at that vanity unit. That is very 1980s, late 70s. Pulled down like that, little micro switch in there. Look at that. Oh, I can't shut it. I'll leave it as it is. And little portaloo. Now you could have a shower fitted in these, Some probably would do, but look, how's that roof vent? That's massive. It's a really big roof vent, but it's all very original. Now, a little while ago, Fiona had it resealed and everything, and some new board put in, and generally it's not been too bad a job. It's looking okay. Right, so there you go. Nice and compact. Let's have a little summary. Wow, it's really warm. What a beautiful day it is here. And inside here it's really like a little oven. Now look, as I said to you before, these were really popular on stage, especially in the 80s and very early 90s. You see quite a few of these knocking around on sides. Now they did suffer from damp problems, usually in the back end. I mean, when I see these on the used forecourts, doing stuff for various magazines, I could usually guarantee that the back end would be wet through or had been patched up and repaired. As long as it's repaired okay, it's fine. But they really did sell quite well. Dealers used to say, oh, they were great little vans. If you had a dry one and it was a good one, they would just, sell very quickly. But what a shame that there's none around, and now there's very few of them around. I've not seen one for a long time. Now, if you have, again, let me know in the comments, and tell me where you saw it and how long ago it was, maybe. So it's great to come in here because, I say, it brings back memories for me seeing these when they were new. And also, as I say, when I went to the factory and went round and watched them put them together, and it's a great piece of our caravan industry history. And I think that's the trouble, we do let things like this slide. Silverline may not be a name that everybody knew, every caravaner knew, but they were quite a prolific company at one stage, and they produced some pretty decent stock as well. And like any manufacturer, they did have some, odd, poor times when things weren't brilliant. But interestingly, one of the manufacturers that was an offshot of Silverline was one of the ex-employees, a guy called, I think it was called Dobson, and he started up a company called Aero Caravans. Now, Aero started up in 1969, 70, 71. And they produced tours, and they also produced statics, towable statics as well as what Silverline were doing. And the very first designs of the Aero Caravans looked very much like the Silverline Tourers. A slight bit of a copy there, and that wasn't unusual. Aero, unfortunately, they went into liquidation in the early 80s. That recession killed them off. But a little bit of a trivia here. When I was at Swift, a few weeks ago now, the guy on the security gate, I got talking to him, and he actually told me that he'd actually worked in a caravan factory. So of course I was always interested. Was it Swift or Willoughby? No, he said it was a company called Aero. So Aero Caravan. Says, yeah, that's the one. I said, guy called Dobson. That's it, he said. I worked there until the company shut down in 82. He said, I didn't think anybody remembered them. I said, well, yeah, I do, and I've got all the brochures and things on them. And for a while they were a very popular make of caravan in the 70s. They did quite well. A lot of their holiday homes that were on sites, they stopped making tours and went on to holiday homes, basically. But anyway, back to Silverline, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. And I love looking at this van, and I just get really excited with stuff like this, as you know. I'm a bit odd like that. But I'm going to have a quick word with Fiona, and see what she has to say about the little Silverline. I know she loves it, and I think really the last words need to go to Fiona. So let's ask her. And please keep watching the channel. Please keep watching the channel. Please keep subscribing. Please keep giving your comments as well. And tell me, did you own a Silverline? If so, let me know. I'd love to know. Any pictures, put them on the Caravan Industry Experts Facebook page. And that reminds me, somebody had a Cavalier, and I think they'd had it, I think it was a grandfather's, and they've not got back to me. Please, if you watch this video, please let me know about that. I'd love to maybe come and have a look at that if it's doable. It'd be great to see. Right, okay, so from me, I'm going to send you now over to Fiona and ask her a few questions. So, see you on the next one. Here we have Fiona, the lovely lady herself, who's got this Silverline and has allowed me to come and have a look at it. Right, fill me in on what you like about it, Fiona.
Well,
let that van go.
Well, I love the fact it's so small. It's only 5'7" wide, and it weighs 477 kilos empty. I've got big caravans as well, but I just like this small, lightweight caravan. We can go anywhere in it.
Okay, so where did you buy it from? I saw the sticker on the back that said Kirkcaldy Caravans, and that's up in Scotland. That's just outside of Fife.
Yes,
Or Wallace Caravan, sorry, should I say, which is at Kirkcaldy, which is down the road from Kirkcaldy Caravans. But that's still near Fife. Far away, sorry.
Yes, I bought this caravan unseen from a Gumtree ad from Fife.
That was incredibly brave, Fiona, I think. Did you have any reservations when you went to see it, to pick it up? Did you think there might just be a chassis and literally a body falling to pieces?
Yes, I actually bought it in between house moves, so I couldn't go for a little while, so I got the fella who sold it to me to put it into storage, and I went up. I was very excited, but also thinking, oh gosh, what's it going to be like? It might be awful. But it wasn't a lot of money.
And when you did bring it back, what did the family say?
Well, my daughter had just turned 3. She absolutely loved it. I loved it, and we went and had dinner in it that night, Alice and I.
And where was your first trip?
It would be Castlereagh Farm near Keswick.
That's a super spot, I believe. What's it like, that site?
It's absolutely fantastic. You get all the mountains behind Dirtwater on one side, and then to the side window you're looking at Blencathra, and I absolutely love it there.
The Silverline must have looked very small on that site with those mountains at the back.
Yes, and I've got some lovely photos of it with mountains in the background. But I do have a big Isabella awning for it as well, which is great.
Well, that's super. Now, does anybody actually come to you on site and say, oh, what's this? Or, hey, a bit small?
Yes, they do come and have a little look at it sometimes. And, you know, that's great. I very proudly show them.
Well, I should think so, because I think it's a great little van, and I think really, I think you were really very lucky to get it, and it was in pretty good order considering. So I would say basically, you know, you did very well. So what's it like to tow?
It's you hardly notice it's there, and the difference on your MPG is not much at all. And I found I've got big caravans as well. I've had 4 bigger caravans since owning this, but I find towing this an absolute joy.
And of course you won't need towing mirrors on it, will you? Because it's no wider than the car.
That's right.
Another big plus.
And we've been down some little roads in it around in the Lake District. Some really little roads, no problem at all.
So, do you keep this caravan costed under the cover, or...?
Yes, I did invest in a specialised made-to-measure cover.
Oh, that's good to hear, because, you know, like us all, when we're getting on, we need a bit of cosseting, don't we?
You do, and I try and keep it aired out as well, so every now and again I just open the door. I want to keep this caravan in really good condition, so when my daughter's 17, she can use it as her first caravan.
That sounds absolutely super. What a great idea. Now, you will be not surprised that there's not many of these Silverline Novas around, so it makes it rather special. So do you feel a bit special having it?
Definitely. The ones I've seen have all had you know, been painted inside, and they've you know, put different things in them, so I would say there's probably not another one in the country that's in as original condition as this one.
Well, I'll tell you something, let's set the challenge to our viewers, and I want you to say to me, to the viewers, come on, has anybody got one of these little Novas, and if so, is it looking as good as mine?
Yeah, I'd love to see if there's any more like this. I'd be really interested.
And so would I, to be quite honest.
It's got original carpet as well, so...
You really love this caravan, I can tell.
I do. It's part of the family.
Well, do you know what, Fiona, that's great to hear. And again, thank you very much for allowing me to come up, late as per normal, and let me view it, video it, chat to you, take your time up, make me a cup of tea, and everything else really. So it's super. I'm sorry it took so long for me to get here, but we got here, and it's been well worth it. And it's a lovely day out there, and I've really enjoyed my afternoon here, meeting you, your daughter, and your partner. Although he does like model railways, can forgive him for that. But we like caravans, don't we?
Yes. Thank
We
you
do.
for coming, Andrew.
It's my pleasure, and thanks again, Fiona. And keep me updated on anything you do, and maybe one day we'd like to come and see you actually on site.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be good. Thanks very much, Fiona, and I'll see you again.
Lovely, thank you.
Happy Silverline Nova. Thanks a lot.